Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Friday. We're finally at the end of the week, and it looks as if the market seems to be doing pretty good. It's we had a record high on the S&P 500 yesterday, and we seem to have, it seems to be, I don't know, it seems to be strengthening a little bit, which is actually a good thing. I mean, I'm very much liking to see this sort of this action. Looks like Nvidia may have pushed above that very critical $700 range. We'll see if it can hold it. I'm hoping so. It's going to be coming into a 4-for-1 split. So everybody that is an owner of Nvidia, NVDA, on June 21st will get 4 shares of the split stock, and that'll happen on the 19th of July, and the 20th, that will be the first day that it will be trading as a split share. So, without further ado, let's kind of get into some of the slides, and just really kind of, just pretty basic today. The Nasdaq, and this is key, is above that critical 14,000 range. It's kind of just, it's pushed beyond it, not much, but it's kind of holding at 14,038.35, and that's kind of where it is right now. So that's looking pretty good. The S&P is up just, it's just ever so slightly, 2.02, but it's holding on to the gains that it made yesterday, which is key. The Dow Jones is off a little bit, but we're kind of going sideways still. The volumes are down a little bit. They're down a little bit. So, it's kind of a typical. Seems like Friday. We'll see how it goes into the close. We're about 30 minutes away from the close. Here's here's a breakout stock that I did do the call spread on. Of course, as you probably well know, that's Alphabet. This was taken from yesterday, but it seems to be moving nicely. The stock that I want to show you that I did was I'm doing some buying today. I did sell my small stake in MGM. It was up 1%, but I wanted to make room for stocks that were doing a little bit better. Here's one I bought today. This was a breakout. A blue dot breakout. Doesn't really show here, and this is a little tiny company called Amplify Energy. It's based in Houston, and they are looking pretty good. They're up significantly. They're on the they're on the NYSE, but basically they're on what they used to call the American Stock Exchange. So I bought this one today. It's a very inexpensive stock. I normally don't buy stocks under $10, but this is in the oil and gas sector, and this sector has still been doing good. I mean, I was a seller of certain shares today. I sold my position in Matador. I sold some position in Whiting Petroleum, taking them after they moved up about 20%. I took profits. So I'm trying to sort of kind of recirculating some of the capital. Apple's up today. Of course, I'm a holder for Apple. I've been trying to pare back my portfolio to get it to the ideal about 8 different actual physical shares that I'm owning. So today I bought COP, which is ConocoPhillips, down a little bit. It's right at a buy point. The buy point's about $60 on this one. And then I bought this other really kind of much smaller, more speculative E&P company in the oil and gas sector, and of course that's AMPY, Amplify Energy. Very small stock, not a big deal. Up strong on my acquisition of DocuSign. That reverse, and it's now moving higher. It's up $7.92 today, or about 3.26%, and the volume is up as well. I have another small oil company. It's up today, but the volume's down. That's OVV. And then, of course, the gold shares are down a little bit, but it's still trading above 175, which is the key level for me on that. Of course, I'm much overweight in Nvidia. It's up $16.65. When this slide was taken, it was trading at about 713. I think it's probably going to have a very good close today. We'll see if it closes. If it closes above 715, but that would be an extremely strong close. I buy a few more shares in this one, just because of the strength of it. And I do think, again, we're coming into this date of record, and that may be a very good time for this stock. As it comes in. I have both options and physical shares here as well. So that's kind of where I'm at. Also, Apple is up 127. 127 is a key level. Hopefully, Apple can push above that. It would be great if it can, because that that is sort of where the resistance has been for a while. So hopefully we'll see Apple move. Hopefully we'll see Apple move higher. Just in the near future. So without further ado, let's get to some of those questions. Thanks everybody for waiting and holding on here. Take a look. Byron has a question on FNV. This is, of course, Franklin, Nevada. This is an interesting stock in that it doesn't actually, it's not actually a miner. It owns it owns positions in other productive mining companies, and so it's a very interesting company based. I think it's in Reno, Franklin, Nevada, but it's just a very interesting company. And so let's take a look at FNV, and I'm going to pull that up right as we speak here. There we go, and that's a good that's definitely a good call. So let's kind of analyze Franklin for Byron. So there we go. All right, so here we go with Franklin, Nevada. It basically, there is a buy point on a cup with handle formation on this. Unfortunately, it came right up to the buy point, which is 154. 16, and then it was sort of rejected at the it sort of was rejected at the at the gate there. Unfortunately, it's had a little bit of it's had this issue of being being rejected right at the buy point on this one. So here's the thing. Let's see if we can find a reversal on this. So this is a good stock, especially because I am a little bit bullish on gold right now. Has an excellent checklist, 88%. If we're going to see more inflation, which I do believe that we may, then I think this might be, that might be good. There's only one area that this is failing on, and that's the relative strength. The relative strength on this currently is only 58, which I typically like to buy them at 80. But remember, this group was going down, and then now it's making a movement above the 200-day line. I just want to show you this. This is very beneficial. I'm losing my feed here, but you can see this red line here. That's the 50-day moving average. It is crossed above the black line, which is the 200-day moving average, and that is a very bullish sign. That's a very bullish sign for this. And of course, it is basing now in this position with the cup with handle, and the buy point is 154.16. So the question is, where would you buy that? Well, I'm going to go over here to the weekly chart to see, look to see. So what I think this is pretty accurate in terms of where the buy point is. What I would do on this one is I would do a buy stop limit order at a price of 154.26, and the reason I would do that is you want to let it come through that buy point and then break that resistance and then buy it about 10 cents above that price. That would be an ideal way to buy it. I definitely think this is a this is a good this is a good candidate here. So I would set a buy stop limit order for, and I'm going to put it all up here, hopefully on the billboard, for 151.16 plus 10 cents, or or 151.26 on that. And so the stop is the stop price on this is 151.16, and the limit is 151.26. There we go. So here's what I would recommend on this one. I definitely think this is worth looking at. Franklin, Nevada is a good company, and it's in a good area. There is kind of a little bit of an issue here in that the gold mining area has been a little bit weaker at 112 out of 197, but because this is a company that owns royalties, I think this one will do very, very well. So here's how I would enter this trade. I'm not in this currently. I would set a buy stop limit order, the limit being 151.20, the 151 151.16, and then the limit order, the limit being 151.26, 10 cents above that. So I think that looks very good, Byron, and yeah, I think that's viable. I think that's very, very viable as it stands. Thanks, Matt. Let's look at BBW. Matt's interested in taking a look at BBW. There we go. Build-A-Bear Workshop. What a name! This has been really big. This is this may be. Is this a high tide flag? Let's take a look at the weekly chart. You know what? This is really interesting. By the way, everybody, this is a very interesting format that I want to show you. This may be the beginning of a high tide flag. I'm going to vote this down on my list because this could be potentially a high tide flag. The high tide flag, by the way, is the very best of all of the chart formations. So let's see, BBW, Build-A-Bear Workshop. Okay, so this kind of looking like a high tide flag. It's got it needs one more week, 3 weeks, and this is definitely a high tide flag. So you want to put this on your watch list because this one very well could break out. I want to check a few other things. Boy, this is in a great sector. It's in the leisure product sector, 4 out of 197. That's excellent. Wow, this is really, really looking good, Matt. This is really, really, really looking good. I think that this might be, yeah, this is definitely one that you want to buy. I might buy this one. It's up 8.3 cents, 3% just in the week. That's this week, and let's look at the daily chart. Boy, it's just really, okay, so here's where you want to buy it. Yeah, you could definitely buy it, and I would probably try to get it right at about 18.12, so we're right in the money. This is definitely viable, and this is a possible high tide flag. So this is, high tide flag is the very best format. So possible high tide flag formation. Wow, that is very, very good. I mean, when you get those high tide flags, they can really rip up because you see it ripped up and then it's consolidating, and it looks as if. And I just want to show you the volume here, but this is fascinating. This is a classic pattern. The volume is moving down. That means that it's getting ready. And these are all above that, so it's getting ready to move higher. This BBW Build-A-Bear Workshop is looking to possibly move higher. That is a fantastic call there. Fantastic call. All right, so let's take a look at some people from TikTok. Nvidia. We'll get to that in just a second. Nvidia, how high? Let's take a look at Nvidia because a lot of the people on that are watching. That are on the Discord room, the special Discord service, they're in Nvidia. I have a large position in Nvidia, as of course it's going to come up on this 4-for-1 split. So I'm gonna put the chart up here for Nvidia. Kind of let's analyze it a little bit. I'm looking at the daily chart here, but yesterday we were flirting with this. We were flirting with 700. We've now pulled above 700. I think that if it can hold this, it's likely to go much higher. It's up about $15 today. Now the question is, but the volume is only up 8%. Let's look at the 10-minute chart to see kind of how it's trading into the close. If it trades, if it can hold 710 or so, it's probably going to move higher next week based on this. So it seems like it's holding it. We're pretty close to the end of trading, so if it can hold that, I think it's probably going to move higher. I still think you can buy it at this point. It is extended. Now, normally I would say no, you can't buy it at this level just based on the fact that that it's moved above that buy zone which is basically 5% from the buy point up. So it's moved past that, but it seemed, but with this formation, with this tight formation, and coming into the, I think that you're definitely, this still is still there's still time to get into Nvidia before the split. But what I do expect is that this will trade higher up until the day of the split, which is the 19th of July, and then it probably will pull back. I'm planning to possibly sell most of my position on that. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, I just wanted to point out that we have this very good trade on Google. It is a long-term trade. It's basically almost 100 days on this trade, so it's kind of a slow and sure wins the race. Google was breaking out yesterday. I think it's down a little bit today, but this spread trade allows you to control 100 shares of Google for a very good price. If you want to check that out, super easy to do. Just go to the beacons, and the way you do that is you go to my profile, click the link, and then it'll bring up a little sub menu, and then we have this trade up there. You just click on that, and you can take a look at that that trade. So that's a pretty cool trade that you might be interested in. I think it might be a real moneymaker. So without further ado, I'm going to look at Google. That's what this trade is based on. Kind of check in with Google, see how Google is trading here. So GOOG, and of course there are two classes of Google shares. I trade in this trade I trade basically the original shares. This is the Alphabet shares. This is the one the spread is on right now. It has pulled back about $10. But it's still right in the buy zone. So I do think that this trade that I'm showing here, this trade probably should work very, very well. And of course, the easy way to get to that is to go to my profile, click that link, and you'll be taken right to an area where you can get to take a look at that at that trade. So that could be a very good trade for you as well. All right, let's go down to the next question. Thought on Valet. This is a copper miner, primarily in South America, and along with like SCCO, which is Southern Copper. This one, Valet, very large. I do think even though it did pull back a little bit this morning, I think it's still making a nice run. There is going to be a lot of demand because of inflation. We are going to see a fair amount of demand for copper. So this one. This one still is very good. If you'll notice, the mining and metal ores sector of the economy is 20 out of 197. So this is very, very strong. I also kind of want to look to take a look to see if we can get an idea of how that sector is trading. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to the list of sectors, and I'm looking at the number 20, of course, which is the mining sector. So here's what I'm going to do this very quick. Hopefully, if I get it to it right. Let's see. Okay, let's go down here to the industry groups, and then we're going to go ahead and well, hopefully that'll come up. There we go. Industry groups. We're going to go to the rank, and we're going to go from high to low. I'm going to go to number 20. This is the mining sector. And let's take a look at that. This is the mining sector. This is the chart for the mining sector with all the stocks included. Let's look at all the stocks in the group, see how Valet comes out. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th largest by cap. So it's in very good company there. Rio Tinto is bigger, of course, and BHP is the biggest. That's, of course, an Australian company. But I want to kind of look to see where the top stocks are. Yeah, Valet's right in there. Let's look at Camco. The UR Energy is a uranium miner. It's a little bit different play. Well, actually, let's look at Tech Resources. This is the one that kind of has been, as of late, doing very, very well. It's in a buy zone area. So if Valet is not, Valet is a good stock, but if you want another one that's basically in mining as well, Chile and Peru, copper, of course, coal. They mine everything. This one is right into buy zone, and it's well priced. Tech Resources, basically trading at 23.61, and it's up today about 16 cents. Not a lot. I mean, these aren't rocket ships. These aren't like some of the stocks that in the tech sector, but still very, very significant. So if looking at Valet, I think it's still really actionable, and I think it maintain it remains a very good stock. I mean, it's the proper buy point on this was 1768, and if you were in at 1768, you probably should be taking some profits now. Looks like it's basing here. It looks like it's forming a base formation, and it possibly will go higher. But still looking very good. The relative strength is 90. The relative strength line is pointing up. So I can't really say anything too bad about Valet. It looks like a good stock to me. All right. Greetings. Thank you. Hey, look at Wish. If there's still another round of short squeeze, interesting. There was this. Let's take a look at Wendy's because Wendy's went through the short squeeze and now it's sort of coming off of that. So this is kind of the chart for Wendy's. Really interesting. I was highlighting this one on the show yesterday, and of course I ran out of time. I wasn't able to take advantage of it, but it rocketed up here, and then boom, it's been pulling back. This is why when you're playing these when you're playing these short squeezes, you gotta you gotta put in your stop loss immediately. What you do is when you buy it, you just got to be very careful and just put that stop loss in. It's a market stop loss too, not trailing, and just go like this, and then eventually you'll get right up to here, you see, and then it will move down, and then it moves down quickly, and so obviously you want to have that tight stop loss in. I typically like to be no more than about 2 to 3% below where the current price of any of these in any of these short squeeze stocks are. So with a stop limit order, and always do the market one because that's going to that's going to give you the best coverage. The trailing stop loss will reset every night, so you want the market stop loss if you're playing these short squeezes. So let's see if there is, and you basically, I didn't answer your question. I went all around the bush, didn't answer your question. Let's go with that Wish, WISH, and see if there's any opportunities. Yeah, I don't think this one. I wouldn't be probably playing this one for a short squeeze, even though let's just do an analysis. Yeah, here's the thing about short squeeze. I typically like to see stocks that have been around a little bit longer than this one. This is a relatively, this stock is a relatively new stock with regards to that. Let's see if I can get let's see if I can get my screen back here. For some reason I messed up here. There we go. Okay, so let's see if I can put my screen up here. Sorry, I'm having these. See if there we go. Okay, so all right. Yeah, there we go. I'm back now. Sorry about that. All these things I have a number of windows open that just don't want to be cooperative right now. Okay, so there we go. We're back in that. Let's see if I can. All right, so I just wanted to do the. Yeah. All right, let's see if I can go to a different. Let's see if I can go to a different view here. Hold on. Let me go back to me here. Go to a different view. There we go. Well, I know it's not working. Yeah. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm back. back to the same screen that I had. I can't minimize it for some reason. I just okay. All right. Well, it didn't let me. It's not letting me minimize. Oh, come on, let me minimize. Minimize. Darn it. All right. Well, I can't take it out of that mode to see the calculator. So maybe I can put the calculator somewhere else. Hold on. Put it over here. All right. Oh, this is just maddening. All right. All right. Well. All right. Let's close out of that. All right. It's not letting me. Come on. Let's close out of it. All right. All right. So core logic. Let's see if I can get that over there. Yeah, there we go. All right. So now. There. Okay, I'm back. I think now maybe I can see. Hopefully, get the calculator up. Sorry it took me so long on that. Let's go. 1.1 days of short interest times. Okay, and it just it did. It just absolutely blasted off, boy. And the after hours. So, can you get into this one? Wow. Okay, yeah. No, this is definitely a short squeeze. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so if average daily volume is 22 million, so it's 1.1 days of short interest times 22 822 300. So that gives us 27,613,000 shares are short, and the float is 297,900. Okay, giving us, this is 10%. So this is definitely, obviously this is definitely a short squeeze. The question is, can you benefit from it? That's on the weekly chart. Let's see. No, it's been selling off throughout. Yeah, so really the opportunity was basically on Tuesday. Is this going to go again? Well, you know what? It looks as if. Yeah, I don't know. I would be a little bit leery about this one. I think this is probably going to fall a little bit more before we have an opportunity on it. So it's one of those things where I don't think we have as much opportunity as we did. But who knows? I mean, interesting on that. All right, so it really didn't give you a good answer, but that's sort of the answer that I have. Big thanks to Matt. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. Hey Jim, thanks for Nvidia because you hold it. You hold it. What would happen next with Nvidia? Well, here's what I think is going to happen with Nvidia. This is sort of my take on it. Basically, the way stocks like this trade is they trade when they're split. Now, Nvidia has not split for 14 years, so it's way overdue. What happened was there's 1 billion authorized shares on Nvidia. They decided to increase the number of authorized shares to 4 billion, and of course that required a vote. It was approved, so they're going to go to 4 billion. They're basically, I believe, going to issue. They're going to issue 4 for 1. So I think they're going to issue a billion more shares. I think that's the amount. But it will not be dilutive because stock splits are not dilutive. Basically, they just needed more shares because the price got so high. So I do believe that I'm going to be buying it into the date of record. The date of record is June 21st. Then after that, I may actually even add shares after that. I'm going to be holding my shares until July 19th. I'm going to be selling on July 19th because that's typically the day that it reaches the peak. Then it will split, and then typically what will happen is after it splits, the stock will trade down for a few days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even 2 or 3 days, and then it will probably continue back up. But there's going to be an opportunity on the day of, on the day right before it trades 4 for 1, which is the which is July 20th. But the last day it trades as a single issue is going to be on the 19th of July. So I'm planning on buying and then holding up into there and then probably selling. So that's sort of how I'm looking to do it. Just based on my experience with some of the other stocks like Tesla and Apple last year. Price prediction for Nvidia. I don't know. It's really hard. It's so hard. I was probably being a little bit aggressive. I was saying about 800. Because that would make the split shares about 200 each. Well, exactly 200 each. So that's kind of what I've been looking at. Now, we've got a ways to go on that because again, we're not there yet, and it's not going to trade it's not going to trade like that. It's not going to trade like that all in one day. It's going to come up and then then we're going to see it. It may back off a little bit, and we just don't know. But one thing we do know is that it looks like we had a very nice close. We closed at okay, so after hours we're at 712. So the fact that we closed above 710 in the after hours is looking very strong. Very, very strong day today. A lot of people are getting ready. They're getting positioned because I do think it may pop on Monday based on this close. A lot of the big companies that are going to want to hold this, they're not going in and buying all at once. They're buying in pieces. So, this is sort of the day before the weekend. I think we're going to have a strong week next week. I really believe it based on this information I hear. Basically the volume is up about 14% today. So I do see. I see in this volume here, I do see, strong action. We had this 2 little days where there was an attempt for the shakeout, but I think we're back. I think we're back buying it on Monday because just based on the fact that there's just huge volume in it. I just kind of want to look at the 10-minute chart to see kind of how it closed. Yeah, it closed right above 710. This is a key level. And if you'll notice, at the very end of the day, there's a large buying spike. So we're not selling on the close; we're buying on the close. That is bullish, and I do think that we will move higher. Now, I'm kind of expecting, and again, it's very difficult to do this, but we've got a few more days before the day of record. That's June 21st. But I do believe that coming into July, we're going to probably see this thing move, and I think we could see it move as high as 800, maybe even higher. But I definitely think this easily could be 800. Why do I think that? Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a trend line. I'm big on these trend lines, as you probably know. This is on the weekly chart. Let's see if we get. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to draw a trend line, which, if I can get enough bandwidth here, there we go. Well, I tried again. So we're having some issues with the bandwidth. Okay, let's hopefully we'll come back here. Come on, Nelly. Oh, okay. So I'm going to draw this trend line, and as you can see, it crosses 800 now. It's showing out in September, so I may be a little bit. I don't know if that, that's on the lows. Let's draw the trend line on the highs. So yeah, it's in this channel right now. I definitely think we could see it at 800 by mid-July. I really believe that. I think we could see it in the 800s by the mid-July, but that's just a guess. That's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of the price. Is about by about July 20th. I'm looking at about 800 when it splits 4 for 1, and then of course it'll be about 400. So very interesting times there. Oh, prediction on, and that's about 800. Okay. Workhorse, we will see a squeeze next week. Interesting. It's interesting. Well, let's see about Workhorse. WKHS. There's been a lot of action on this one. It definitely has pulled up. We're up today, and let's look at that chart. Very interesting. We're definitely below that 200-day moving average. It's got a good strength on the relative strength. Let's see if we can put together. I just kind of want to analyze this again. I always, maybe I'm analyzing it to death. It's analysis paralysis, but I'm going to look at the amount of short interest. Short interest is 2.5 days. So we're looking at an average daily volume of about 18 million, 343,500 shares. So on a daily basis, we're looking at about 45,858,750 shares are short. The float, of course, is 108,500, 108,500,000. So that's giving us basically, oh yeah, this is definitely in the range for being a short squeeze. Workhorse is definitely there. 0.42% of all the shares are being short. Yeah, this definitely could be a short squeeze. There's no question about it. No question at all. So the question is where to get in on that. Wow, this could be a good short, absolutely, based on that calculation. It looks as if it's going to get relieved right at about 18. So boy, this could really take off. This wouldn't be a bad one to buy. I'm not recommending it or anything. Remember, this is for educational purposes only. But I think that, we possibly have a very nice potential for short skis next week. I don't know when it's going to be. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't know. But it's definitely setting up for a short squeeze. You're absolutely right, West. You're absolutely right. This is setting up for a short squeeze. Absolutely. 42% of all the shares are held short. Oh, and what is your thought about Apple and OVV? Should holders go up? I'm in both of these. I'm in both of these shares. Let's look at OVV first. I mean, this is probably not going to be a rocket ship OVV, but I think slow and steady wins the race. This is OVV today. It's up 2.82%, which isn't bad. I mean, it's above the buy zone. I just think that this is going to continue moving up the 10-day line. I don't think this is going to jump up, like the short squeezes or anything, but I do think that this one is very likely to move higher. Now, if you did buy, at approximately the right buy point, and that was been a very hard at 27. I didn't quite get it at 27. I'll have to see where I actually bought it. I'm just going to go to my to the small portfolio here to see kind of where I bought that at. So I'm going to go in the small portfolio and take a look and see. This is the it'll take a second for it to draw the chart. Okay. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. Okay. So I have OVV. It's not a large. I did sell some of my other oils. I got in. Where did I get in? At 28. 28. So I didn't quite get in. I didn't quite get in at the buy point. A little bit above it, but I'm still up 9%. So this has been a pretty good stock. This has been a pretty good stock. Yeah, it's at 31.41. So I'm up about 9% on this. I didn't quite get in at the buy point at 27. I sort of got in as it pulled back. It went up and then it pulled back, and I got in basically at the top of the buy zone. So I still like OVV. Do I think it's viable now if I was going in? Probably not. I probably wouldn't buy it now just because it's moved past the buy zone. It's up a little bit too much. Now with Apple is a really strange one. I'm still waiting for Apple to reverse above the trend line. That's this black line here. It's just slow and steady. But it does seem to be making a move upwards, but it's still not reversed higher. It's still a downward trend by looking at this trend line. It has to move above that. It really has to move above about 136 in order for it to be considered an uptrend. So it is making a move towards that. I'm not going to probably sell my Apple right now, but it has been a laggard as of late. But I do have a bull call spread on it. So long term, I do like Apple. Long term, I definitely like Apple. They're going to be doing probably a stock buyback. That was a story today in the Investor Business Daily. they're going to be doing a stock buyback. And the reason that they're doing a stock buyback is because of the potential for very high, much higher capital gains taxes, which may happen. And if they do a stock buyback, it'll boost the prices, the share prices, but the dividends will be, will be taxed at a different, uh, Apple had been throwing off tremendous dividends. They cut their dividends because of that capital gains thing. So they're just probably going to be buying back stock. So it's going to be in the stock price. So. Um, but I do like Apple long term, and I think it's a great stock, and I think it's going to continue to be a great stock. It's just that everything has a season. So let's look at FCX, and that is Freeport McMoran. This was really a good stock. It's pulled back a little bit. Sometimes pullbacks can be a very good time to buy. I do believe that this might be the case for FCX, because what's happened is, it moved past the buy point at 37.61 very convincingly, and then it moved all the way up to 46.10, and then it's pulled back, and now it seems to be settling on the 21-day exponential, which is that green line, and it looks like it's probably poised to reverse higher. So I would definitely consider this. I wouldn't sell this one. I wouldn't sell this one based on the chart pattern. I think that this one is likely to move higher. It's likely to reverse. I'm going to take a look at the See, here's the thing. What I'm doing is I'm drawing a line on the relative strength line for this stock against the S&P 500. It's been at the strength has been higher than the S&P 500. It does look like it's moving up. So here's the thing about Freeport. I would really consider, I wouldn't sell this one right now. I think it's going to reverse higher, but I would do this. I would probably set a stop loss just in case I was wrong on that. And believe me, I've been wrong so many times, at about 39.45, which is, really just not that much below this right now. I mean, it's trading at, at 40.80, but it does look like it's going to make a move higher next week. Let's take a look at the 10-minute chart to see kind of how it closed out. Yeah, no, it closed with a fair amount of selling, so you definitely want to put your stop loss in there tighter, because it looks like the trend is it on the open it moves up and then it comes down. That seems to be the way it trades. Freeport. All right, Workhorse up from Jay. I think we might see. I do agree. I mean, I was analyzing that. I think that we might see a short squeeze on Workhorse. But here's the thing about it: you want to be careful and put your stop losses in very, very tight on this. I do think that it's amazing. I was doing analyzing it, and 41% of the shares currently are held short on Workhorse. So that's significant, and so that's something that definitely could point to a potential short squeeze on Monday. You don't know when it's going to be, if it's going to be Monday or when, but I do think it could be next week very, very, very easily. PLUMB, 55% is shorted. Huh, that's interesting. Well, let's see if that's true. Let's as they always just say, trust but verify. PUMB. And just because this much of it is short, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get a short squeeze on it. PUBM. But let's do the math on it to see. And I'm going to take a look at the daily chart of this. So look at that. Wow, interesting. Provides integrated inventory data and advertising revenue. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It does. It's traded all the way up to 76. So let's get an idea if it really is shorted at that level. So I'm gonna stick my handy dandy calculator up here to get an idea. So basically, let's go to the weekly chart. This is how you do the calculation, by the way. Just kind of show you. Go to the weekly chart. Then you put up your calculator here. And basically, we look to see the number of days that it is short interest is 4 days. And then we look at the average daily float, which is right here. That's 953,700 shares. So that's going to give us the amount of shares that are shorted are 3,814,800, and then we divide that by the float. The float is the shares that are in the float are 8.9 million shares. There we go. So that gives us the amount of short interest. Absolutely. 43% of this is short, so you're absolutely right. It's not quite 55% of the shares are short on this one, but anything over 40 is serious in terms of the number of shares shorted. The question is, where is there an entry in this one, and is it worth it to do it? It looks as if, if we were to enter it here, I would be very careful. I would put my stop loss in here very tight. I probably would put in a stop loss at about 32.10. Yeah, see, this is 33. I would put in a stop loss at 32.10. So if we're wrong and it pulls back, you're not devastated. I think it's probably worth taking a little bit of risk. You don't want to lose any more than about 5% on any of these deals. So let's kind of look to just kind of see how much of the stop loss we would want to do. Currently, it's trading at 33 after hours. So I'm going to multiply that times 0.95, and this should give us approximately where we should put our stop loss at 31.35. That would give us, and let's just see where that is going to be. 31. So that's right. Yeah. So that's right at the bottom. That's right at the bottom of the candle. So that 31.35 would be a good stop loss for this one if you decide to do this short. Now, don't expect it to happen all at once. Don't expect it to happen on Monday. It depends on when the people that are shorting it, when they have a margin call, because that's what triggers the short squeeze. Is a margin call, and then they have to go in and cover that, and that's when they have to go and buy to cover, and that's what causes the short squeeze. Let's look at this one, Salvador. Right, Q. Let's look at ENPH. ENPH, and that is Amplify Energy develops. Oh, I like this. Okay, home energy solutions. Unfortunately, and this is kind of unfortunate. Right now in the market, I don't think this is where we want to be in the market. This is in the solar energy area, which was doing great last year, but this year the solar energy, it's really odd because you would think that with Biden coming into the market, solar energy would do better. Actually, it's the reverse. Oil right now is doing the best, and solar energy is doing the worst. Actually, solar energy did very, very well under Trump, which is interesting. It was very good on Trump. Right now, this area is I don't really like to invest in this area because it's not where the money is flowing. So kind of I want to show you basically how where the money is flowing in the market right now. To kind of give you an idea. So I'm gonna show you where solar is in terms of its rank. It's unfortunately one of the ones that you probably don't want to buy. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So software. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let me kind of show you where this ranks. Right now, the Energy Solar Group is 193 out of 197. So it's in the absolute lowest part of the market. And this is really interesting because if you look at this, just 6 months ago, solar was the number 2 area, the number 2 sector. So when and this is really odd, but the numbers don't lie. When Trump was in office, the energy solar area was number 2 out of 197. Today, with Biden in the office, you would think it would be better, but it isn't. It's actually much worse. It's the flip opposite. It's 193 out of 197. So this is not an area that we want to be in. The area that we want to kind of concentrate our looking to buy stocks is in the areas that have the strongest relative, that have the most investment. Right now, the number one is consumer electronics. This is where, interestingly enough, Best Buy is, as well as GameStop. And the number 2 is one that I'm looking for things in, and this is the oil and gas exploration. Another area that I think is really, really worth looking at is the number 4 area. It's the retail leisure products area. And this is one I kind of want to show you here for potential. It's got a relative strength of 98 as a group, so it's very, very strong. This is where things are moving. Academy Sports is the number one in the category, and it's really good. By the way, that's here in Texas, and unlike Dick's Sporting Goods, which is also a very good company, and you can see it's right here on Dick's Sporting Goods, Academy Sports actually sells weapons, so they tend to do very well here in Texas, as you know. We like those guns in Texas. Another one is Marine Max as well. So let's look. I want to look at Marine Max. I was holding Marine Max for quite a while. I did sell it when it started to slip. Basically, and it has been moving lower. But let me see if I can find something that in this area, because I do think this area is potentially a very good upcoming area, and that is the sporting goods area. Let's see. So Dick's Academy Sports is still probably the number one. Yeah. See, Academy is where you want to be probably because it's making all kinds of new highs. Yeah. See, this seems to be going continuously up. So this one really, unfortunately, it doesn't really have a buy point right now, but it is. Look at this. Look at this chart. It's just unbelievable. This is the Academy Sports and Outdoor, and it's just the chart just moves right up. It's got a 97 relative strength. So even though it's a little bit high and it's extended, and there really isn't a good base pattern, I'm just looking for some place to buy it. ASO, Academy Sports and Outdoor. That's one you might want to look at if you're looking for a stock to be in a strong area. And right now the retail area is very, very strong. Let's look at NIO, NIO, and of course this, Tesla's coming out with the Tesla Plaid. I don't know how well they're going to do, but it seems to be doing well. But unfortunately, it just has been in a funk. Now, has it reversed? This is a really good question. I've got a reversal line on this one, so let's go and take a look, kind of, at that. We have the reversal line there. We're moving up. So, I do think, this did move above this level. I think that, we may be seeing a reversal on NIO. I'm probably not going to be a buyer on NIO until it reaches about 57.20. That's sort of where I would be looking to get back in, but it's definitely improving. So NIO is definitely improving. If it moves higher, it moves above that, then that would be a good thing. But I'm not really looking to get in until I'm up to about this mark here. I'm going to actually reactivate this tick here because this is the 57.20 buy point on NIO. So NIO is definitely improving, but I don't think it's right now. Right now, I don't think it's you could make a case for buying it. I don't think. Let's look at Tesla, because Tesla in the group is the one that really makes the difference. Now, here's the problem, of course, with Tesla. It still has not reversed above this reversal line. When it does, then I'm probably back in. But right now, it is trading right on the 200-day line. It's way off where it was. Basically, I really basically haven't owned it since the early March timeframe when it started to pull back. I bailed out basically, on my stop. I got stopped out, and this was my best stock last year by far. But right now, I think it's still struggling at the 200-day line. It's up a little bit after hours, but it still has not reversed higher. So I would be a little bit careful about investing in the automotive sector. Now, I do own one automotive stock in my own portfolio, and that's GM. Which has pulled back a little bit, and I may be a seller of GM, but overall it tends to be pretty good. There is a buy point on GM at 63.44, but it is up after hours, and I do think that it probably will trade on the 10-day line. At least I hope it does. If it doesn't, then I'm probably going to get rid of it too. But General Motors, believe it or not, right now is probably the strongest in the automotive sector. I'm going to take a look. The automotive sector has fallen a lot. It's 190 out of 197, so it has fallen tremendously. So let's look at the automobile sector and kind of get an idea of stocks that we could possibly look at that in area. Because when this sector roars, it's a great sector, but when it doesn't, boy, it just doesn't. It's disappointing. So let's look at the automobile manufacturers as a group. we're still in this downward trend with the automobile manufacturers, as you can see. I want to kind of look to see which of the leaders. Honda, interestingly, is the leader. I wouldn't have known that. Toyota, Daimler, Tesla. Tata Motors, interesting. This is interesting. Of course, this is a very large. Tata owns Volvo Cars, very interesting company, based, of course, in India, and also part of the Tata Group. There's Tata Steel, and there's a lot of things. Tata's a huge company. Stellantis, which is, of course, is this Stellantis Nvidia. This is Fiat, Chrysler. I think Peugeot is in this group. Not a tremendous. So let's look at Honda, see how it's doing. This is actually right now the best of the autos. I would never have said that. Oh, it's right in the buy zone. Look at that. That is interesting. So the buy point on that's 31.92, and it's right in the buy zone. So if you're looking to buy an automobile company, Honda is the one. Actually, I drive a Honda, so I guess it's pretty good. I've always liked the company. It's not stellar. It's good to own it. I don't know if I'd want to trade it that much. All right, Jeet, you always have such great stuff. Skin, Skin, Skin. And let's take a look. Oh, Skin. See if it's going to give us. Oh, beauty. Beauty. This is Beauty Health Company, and it's interesting. I don't know this, but you know what? One group that always does well in recessions, and not that we're in a recession. The beauty group is one of the most profitable businesses out there. Um, uh, Ulta Beauty is stellar in this. This one's looking good too. It's got a very nice chart. 1733. Don't quite know where they are. They provide personalized skincare solutions with anestheticians via non-invasive platform in 67 countries. Wow, this is interesting. I don't know this one. Let's see. It's in the cosmetics personal care. It's in a good sector. I want to check this sector out. There's no real place to buy this. There's no base pattern. No, well, it did have this base pattern. It says consolidation, $12.86. It's a little bit. I don't know. This is an IPO, and I don't know if I would buy this one, but it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's got a relative strength of 88. That's pretty strong. Um, it's interesting. This is a newly public 66, so it does pass. It doesn't have a full. Yeah, it has negative cash flow, just barely though. Interesting. So let's look at the sector. I want to look at the sector of this. This is in 59. So let's look at sector 59 to see kind of where we're going. So let's go down here to do that back. There we go. Let's go down to 59. This is the skincare sector that it's in. So the personal care cosmetics area, and this is the overall chart. So I want to look at the top stocks in that group. Yeah, Procter and Gamble, no surprise. L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, Colgate-Palmolive, Kimberly-Clark. Oh, interestingly enough, this is a very interesting company, and I haven't seen this forever. This is an old company, but this is a company that always makes money. It's IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances, and it's in a buy zone. So instead of buying that other one, this is the one I think you want to be buying. It's IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances. Let me just see if it's in a buy zone. Yes, it is in a buy zone. This is kind of a slow but sure wins the race kind of stock. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it's not going to disappoint either. It's looking like it's near higher high. Let's look at the monthly chart. Yeah, it's almost at an all-time high. This one is definitely. You want to put this one on the watch list. I'm gonna make a note of this one too. IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances. Haven't seen that one in ever. That's in. If you're looking in like a lot of the old model books for stocks, that one is figures prominently. International Flavors and Fragrances. It's been around forever and ever. All right, we are almost out of time. Just wanted to reiterate for everybody looking on TikTok, if you want to take a look at the spread trade that we have on Google, basically it's right here, and all you have to do is go to the link by going to my profile, hitting that link, and then you can click on that. Also, if you want to join the free action trade alerts, just need the first and last name and an email address where we can send it. We send out trades and other information 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes more, depending on how the market is trading. And then, of course, we do have the special Discord room, which basically is, it's access to a lot of the insider trades, and that's a really good one as well. So if you're looking for that, the way where to go to sign up for that one, of course, is at the Dallas trading room. It's venny.com/u/Dallas Trading Floor. If you want to get on the action trade alerts and you're looking on YouTube right now, just go to www.sendfox.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So I'll be back on Monday at 2:30, and I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I know I'm going to be enjoying it. It's really warming up here in Dallas. It's 95 today, which means that I'm going to be at the pool on tomorrow. I'm going to be at the pool, hanging out, drinking some gin and tonics, and looking at all the beautiful women that are swimming in the pool. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So until Monday morning until Monday afternoon at 2:30. Happy trading, and do consider joining the free action trade alerts or possibly the Discord room for our insider trades. So see you tomorrow. See you Monday at 2:30. Happy trading.